I just had a thought when I was outside about some things I want to say more on the topic of disclosure, which I've covered a little bit in some of my past videos, but just for some of the new people, I want to get into mental health, gaslighting, and UFO disclosure because now that the stigma has been removed from UFO sightings, it's gone more mainstream. They've had to resort to censorship, this baloney censorship that's gotten so out of hand. It's like they've compartmentalized every single person from each other. Every person that needs to share information with each other, they separate us digitally, and it's just kind of crazy. But I want to get into the actual core of mental health disclosure, where the UFOs come in, and it's really just all lack of justice. Um, how did mental health come into be? Well, it's not people who were crazy, it's people who they drive crazy. People aren't just born like that. Like 99.99999% of the time, a person is not born like that. It takes things like drugs, it takes things like major trauma and abuse, it takes all these things. So, why have they started this mental health industry? Is it to actually help people with mental health problems? Because if it was, almost every mental health problem comes from not being heard. It comes from lack of justice. So if they were really helping people with mental health problems, then it would go from step one, telling the people what happened to you, and step two should have been some sort of legal action against abusers. It shouldn't have been, oh, step two, let's drug them so we can later gaslight them and say, no, they're on heavy drugs. That's not true. That didn't really happen to them as a child. Take these drugs. Take these drugs so we can discredit you later, because we do not want getting the truth getting out, and your abusers don't want the truth getting out. So when you go to get help and start talking about your problems, even if you don't take the drugs, they'll let you talk till the cows come home, but nothing ever gets done, does it? Do you see many people going to just being held to justice for more than, even the ones that do? It's like, oh, it's for 3 months or something. Someone's destroyed a child, destroyed a childhood, destroyed their lives. Do they go to jail? Most of the time they don't. So where did the drugs come in? Well, because most of the time they can discredit the witnesses. They discredit the victims. Same with this whole new age movement. It's victim blaming. It's a big giant sweep it under the rug system. So the new age system is sweep it under the rug system. The mental health system is, again, sweep it under the rug system. They get you on drugs so they can discredit you. They'll say, oh, well, and those pharmaceutical drugs are the gateway drugs, by the way. It's like the perfect plan. If they start talking, well, we can discredit them with drugs. If they won't take the drugs voluntarily, then what do we do? Oh, well, then let's start abducting them. What? What did she just say? I said, let's start abducting them. Abducting them. There's drugs that they can give you that will make you believe that you are seeing something that you're not. Like you become entirely suggestible. Like you will believe anything they say to you while you're under that drug. Um, and this is not to discredit things like NDEs, because those things are can be proven to not all be. Many of them are drug related. Many of them are full of crap, and they did have a drug experience, and they come back with an agenda. But there are genuine NDEs who don't have any agendas besides mainly exposing the truth and gaining back our personal sovereignty. That's usually one of the ways I can tell a genuine NDE is they are promoting our personal sovereignty, universal law, and the golden rule, basically. Yeah. So what's up with the fake UFO abductions? Those are again okay. Well, we can't get them to voluntarily take drugs, so let's just make them think that they saw UFOs, which it doesn't matter now. Now it's mainstream. But 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, it was a great way to try to paint someone as crazy. Oh, they're delusional. Oh, they're just totally delusional. But what do? They create those delusions. Again, why? To discredit you. They want to discredit you in the future. So they actually manufacture these things. Um, yeah. And so if all these people weren't on the drugs and all these people didn't have the constant threat of they're going to lock you up if you say that. If you say that, they're going to lock you up. So it's basically duress. It's an extremely elaborate way to stop abuse disclosure. They we gaslight all of society. It gets that pure thing, gets fear in you, it gets duress in you. Like everyone was policing each other before. If we talk about anything like that, they would have that stigma attached to you. So they're like, okay, we'll attach a stigma to them that they actually believe. That'll shut them up. So what I'm saying is most of the mental health problems are a what's it called when you have a handler? It's a way to handle. It's it's a giant handler for society, because if you say this happened and that happened and that happened, they'll put you on drugs instead of getting you justice. And if you don't do the drugs, like for me, for example, I was only like a young lady, like 19 years old, and certain people kept telling me, "Oh, you need to get on antidepressants. Oh, really? I think you should go to this doctor, this doc." They're constantly like hauling me around to all these different doctors and trying to get me on antidepressants. And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? Like, I'm the happiest person I know. Why would I need antidepressants? I'm not even depressed." I was literally the most everyone called me the most bubbly, happy person they know. And I generally am still. I'm not an unhappy person. So why were these certain individuals constantly trying to get me to go and take antidepressants? Well, because they know what they did to me. They didn't want me to start talking. They didn't want me to start exposing all the absolute garbage that I went through. So it was a preemptive strike. Okay, let's get her on antidepressants, and then we can say she's crazy from the medications, so no one believes her. You see where I'm going? See where I'm going? So they push all these pills on your kids and on us. My whole generation, they were pushing the pills, but it was a preemptive strike. It was a preemptive strike against you starting to talk out. So you'd keep your mouth shut, button your lip. So no kind of justice would ever come to light. And I am going to say same thing with most of the UFOs. If you look at them, they're just a light in the sky. Like, it's just a light in the sky. There's no way to prove it's not just a plane or drones that they had before, the drones that are now public. You know how much they could have had drones before, or did they have drones before? If you look at the movies and the aerial views, how much of that was done in a helicopter, or was it done with drones? And now do you see those drones and think that they're a UFO? Because there are genuine UFOs that I have seen and experienced, but I didn't get an alien feeling from them. I got a military feeling from them. Like, it felt like a setup, some sort of setup, almost every time. Not every time, but most times it felt like a setup. So when it comes to the delay in the UFO disclosure by the government, they aren't going to say things like the files they have hidden are files on the witnesses, files on the people that they gaslit. They're going to show all the different ways they completely destroyed that person's life. They screwed around with them. They tried to make them believe they saw a UFO. And then they tried to make them believe they didn't see a UFO. It was like a two-edged sword. It was like a double whammy. So those files are going to show how they would sneak into Dr. So-and-so's office and steal a bunch of files. Then they'd sneak in and they put the files right on his desk. Then they'd sneak in and they take the files away again. So they're screwing with people's lives to make them look crazy, to make them look delusional. That's what most of the disclosure files are. They are not some secret technology they got from planet Neutron. They are files about screwing people's lives up. And why did they start screwing with those people's lives? Well, because some hardcore childhood trauma and other things went on. So I hope I'm making sense. I hope this is opening minds in some way. And yeah. I might do a live on this because it's probably better if I start asking questions, but I don't have any followers yet. So I will probably do a live later, and maybe someone would like to collaborate with me. And yeah, so just trying to open your mind in that sense for today. Thanks for watching. Love from Melissa Mouse.
I know.
I'm still right here. But
Okay, I will turn it off. Bye.
bye.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
They might think of something to say and do it anyway.
Yeah.